in December, we had the conversation with the public and with everybody in the city of Huntsville, and we started talking about building roads. To us, the building of roads is a necessity. This campaign started way before December. It started almost a year ago when we started our Restore Our Roads campaign. And the Restore Our Roads campaign talked about the needs for roads for Huntsville, for Madison County, for the whole North Alabama area, because the roads that were built here, we have over 100,000 people who come in here daily who work in this community and then go back home and live in another community. And they need roads to be able to get in, get out. We need road systems so we can maintain our quality of life, our 18-minute commute. And one of the things about that 18-minute commute, it is part of your quality of life. When you start looking at people in other areas who are driving 45 minutes to work and 45 minutes back from work, that's an hour and a half every day. When we can cut that hour and a half down to 36 minutes and give you back an hour a day of your life, that's part of your quality of life. In working on building for roads, we've been working with the state Alabama Department of Transportation, and we've come up with a $250 million package to restore our roads in Madison County. Those include about 7 projects, which I'm going to ask Shane Davis, the head of our urban development, director of urban development, to come forward and talk about those roads, where we are in the process, when we would expect to see construction start, when we would expect to see construction ended on each of those projects. Each of those projects is essential to the welfare of Huntsville and Madison County. It's essential to us being able to maintain that quality of life and to be getting from here to there. Part of that $250 million road package is a commitment from the city of Huntsville for $125 million. And out of that conversation in December, when we had the commitment on the roads, we had to work to find out where that $125 million comes from. John Hamilton will be addressing that today as we talk about where our roads are, where the revenue is, and when the revenue stream starts. Shane, would you tell us about our roads?
Thank you, Mayor. Wait up. You know, as Mayor Battle mentioned, I first want to thank the Department of Urban Development, the Engineering Department, Planning Department, Director Cooper with ALDOT, State Department. I'm happy to report that 6 of the 8 projects are ahead of schedule with engineering. Engineering has already began on 6 of the major road projects, and those are U.S. Highway 72 at Maysville and Shields Road. Plans are approaching 100% complete with construction starting in the spring of this year. The other project that is very much well on its way is South Memorial Parkway, overpasses at Martin and Lily Flag. ALDOT's doing back check and getting those plans ready for a summer letting, and construction should start very late 2015, early 2016 on those projects. Other projects that the state and the city have already started the preliminary engineering, the design phases, include North Memorial Parkway, Maston Lake Overpass, Highway 72 from Providence, Maine to County Line Road, and Martin Luther King State Route 255 from Pulaski Pike to 231. The remaining projects that need to start design engineering will start in 2015 just due to the funding mechanism, and that is Cecil Ashburn improvements from Carl T. Jones to Hampton Cove 431, and South 231 from Weatherly to Hobbs with access management improvements. Those will start about this time next year with design, and slated for both of those are slated for a 2015 start of construction. From the projects, I'll just review real quick the start construction date tentative for the projects. As I mentioned before, US 72 east from Mooresville to Shields to I-565 will be the west boundary, which started in 2014. Plans are scheduled to be let in May. So active construction we should see summer of 2014. That project is slated at almost $10 million worth of the $250 million commitment we've made to the community. Also, the Epworth connector will start in about the same time in summer. It's a $5 million commitment of the $250 million. And in late this year, early 2015, we'll have our first overpass project of the 7 major projects. And that'll be the South Parkway overpasses at Martin and Lily Flag. And that's $63.5 million of the $250 million commitment. So, you know, when you couple those, almost $80 million in the first 12 months of this commitment will be on the ground in construction. And as Mayor Battle alluded to, you know, the quicker we can get these done and give quality of life back to our citizens and maintain that commute, the stronger we are as a community.
You want to tell them about how we're going to be doing the overpasses?
Yes, something that's very unique with a secured funding of the $250 million. Historically in Huntsville, on our overpass projects, you saw service roads being built. And once those are complete, engineering to start on the main line or the overpass itself. And put a gap about 5 to 7 years in between those projects. What we'll be doing both on North Parkway and South Parkway is combining them into one project such that construction, once it starts, will stay active till the entire project's complete, which one should give everybody, the community back. One of the issues we've had in the community is, taking a decade to do an overpass has left some blight. It's left some businesses just unable to survive, a decade worth of construction. We're able to take that with this funding agreement between the city and ALDOT and cut that into a 3-year deal. And active construction, get in, get out, and give our businesses, the corridor that they want to thrive in. The remaining projects, US 72 West, which is a much needed project, much anticipated project for our community, 6 laning of 72 from Providence, Maine to County Line Road. We'll start in 2016, the first part of 2016. We'll spend this year, next 18 months, finishing plans, getting right away, and then let that project. And then the other one will be the Maston Lake that same year, the Maston Lake Overpass. Those two combined for 2016 is another almost $70 million of the $250 million commitment. And then the final 3 projects in 2017, which will wrap up the 5-year agreement between the city and ALDOT, will be access management from Weatherly to Hobbs on 231 South, State Route 255 or MLK from Pulaski Pike to 231, and then our Cecil Ashburn from the Hampton Cove area over to the Jones Valley area. When you add those up, that's the other $70 million. So when you take 70 in the first 14 months and then going out, that leaves us a little money for overruns and also to look at other much needed projects that if we come in under budget of these 7, to add into our community just to assist with our transportation needs.
As you've seen, the demand for the roads exists now. We know that demand is only going to grow. So the demand exists today, and it's going to get bigger in the very near future. So an important part of the component of this plan was not only to design the roads and build the roads, but make sure that we have the appropriate revenue streams to fund those and pay as we go, and minimize the debt that may come out of this, where a lot of communities are oftentimes burdened with significant debt as a result of this size of a project. Fortunately, we have a plan that addresses that. And the revenue streams required to pay for this start on March 1st. As we well know, the 1-cent sales tax increase was passed, and it's important for our local businesses to be cognizant of those dates and prepare to begin collecting on March 1st, because the city and state will collect from them. We've notified local businesses twice through mail. We've also sent emails to every single business that we communicate with by email, so they've received at least 3 notifications. This really can serve as a 4th. It's important that the businesses, as they interact with the customers, are making the appropriate collections so that we can keep the revenue streams going and get them started on March 1st, inclusive of that date. So at midnight, the morning of March 1st, they should begin the collection of the 4.5-cent sales tax that comes to the city.
And let me remind you that this legislation has in it that $25 million a year, a minimum of $25 million a year, has to be spent on road construction. Cannot be spent anywhere else. This legislation has that we will continue to build roads. We are right now having conversations with Arsenal and others, talking about future roads and future projects that will be coming along, and we will be announcing those as we do these updates to let you know where this money is going to be spent. This is anytime that you have to raise a revenue stream and raise revenue is something very important to you, and you want to make sure that everybody understands what you're doing with that money, where it's going, and how important it is to the community. When we finally came down to the final analysis on these roads were not something that were a mere whim of somebody. They were a necessity for our community, and being a necessity as such, we want to make sure that everybody understands what we're doing with these projects. So thank you.